Hello, I'm installing speakers today. I actually have my passenger side and the rear side speakers all installed. And you're probably wondering how I got to that. So we're going to talk about the driver's side door speaker. So this is the old one here. You gotta take this guy out. Punch right here. Slide that out. You're gonna have to cut this because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a torque 50. And we're gonna remove three bolts. I'll explain how you get the door back together or apart when I put it back together. It's basically the reverse process. It's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of tutorials on the door, which is why I didn't really get there. And plus, I was kind of finishing the job thinking, oh, maybe I should create a video for you guys. So the speaker just comes out like this. It is kind of all attached through this mechanism here. You won't have that with the aftermarket speakers. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna crimp some new attachments on the prongs there with the new speakers. So let me show you what I did over here. So this is my new speaker. I'm using ground zero. I'll put links to everything I have. I also bought these, what are they called? Like door mounts. They're basically custom built to fit right in here. And these door mounts actually have a unique connection, which I got wrong here. So it is this notch here is a little bit different than the other two notches, so it's going to fit right in there once we get everything going. So that's a perfect fit there. Those are custom built. What I did find, though, at least with the ground zero speakers, is you do have to cut away some of the edges here. So I just used a Dremel with whoops, where's my, there we go, just basically a sanding piece. I just ran that along here and just did this across the whole thing until I got it to fit. Again, these aren't, no one's gonna see these, so it doesn't really matter that it's perfect or imperfect or whatever. But basically what you want is you want this to fit nicely so they rest gently against this. And then all you're gonna do is you are going to put these little screws in here, and each of these little notches here is where screws go, and they all line up with the four holes, so it doesn't matter which notch you start on. What does matter, I find, is that this is not very long, so you can't like go over here if you put your prongs over there. So you want to put your prongs basically opposite side of the different notch that's there. And so when I do this, I'm going to basically, I want to, like I said, I kind of want this side to be opposite this side, and then what I want to do is I want an opening that is real close to where these prongs are. So that's the fitting that I want. Because once I attach this, I got a lot, not really a lot of distance here, and you got to kind of open this up. And like I said, you're gonna have to cut these right off. I want to maximize as much as you can, so don't lose any excess. Oops, I'm not on the. Sorry, hard to do with it. Boom, we're just gonna cut that right off there, and we're gonna have that, and of course, just going to trim those down and put some of these guys on here. The size I'm using is the FDD250 for the larger size, and then I'm using this red FDD125187. I will put those in the thing, but basically these connectors fit right on here, just like that, and just like that. What I found best to do is to just get these on here so that you have these sitting ready to go, because you want to attach that and then you'll want to run this wire through there and then crimp it once you get the wire through the hole there. So I'll show you once I get that all done. Kind of hard to do with holding the camera at the same time. All right, I took the speaker off over here because I forgot on the front door to show you guys what you do here. So what you basically have to do is crimp these little tabs into the connectors, and that will go ahead and get you all done. And like I said, I run it right through the piece here. Kind of see it there. Kind of blocked by the paper. I'll wrap that up when I get it all done. But it's a pretty simple process. And then what I do is I check each speaker and make sure all 4 speakers all work after I'm done doing it. All right, so I've been putting the doors with some sound deadening material using this stuff here. It's a 2 thickness. I think it's 2 millimeters. It's pretty good. You don't want it too thick, from what I understand, and you want to make sure you keep all your wires and don't block any of the holes you gotta connect with. So I've, probably not doing this totally right, or definitely not enough, but hey, why not? I'm kind of adding a little bit where I can, and hopefully it helps a little bit. One of the other tips I have is once you get a door installed, I like to test everything. So I basically only tighten this bolt here, but I want to test to make sure the locking mechanism is setting right. So I'm going to close this door here, and what I'm going to do is just doors are locking great, and they're opening great. So why do I do this? I'm doing this because I had an issue when I was kind of running a test run on the passenger door the other day, that I didn't have it hooked up right on the door locks, and I would get this click, 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 and basically the car wouldn't lock. So I just test each door as I install it, and then like I said, I just put in this one kind of top screw because that will hold the door in place so it doesn't pop out when you kind of close and open it. And we'll finish putting on the rest of the pieces here. Everything's pretty straightforward. Just gonna pop this guy back in. It's nice if you kind of get it nice and straight. It uses clips, and I just did not get it straight, so that's nice. There we go. Clicks in there. Other connectors, I put all my connectors for the particular door in here. So this one has a screw there. We'll tighten that up. And there is a screw that goes in here. Screw that goes right in this spot. And then we have these 2 screws that go underneath here that basically hold the cigarette tray and the window switch. So, and then of course you have this one here. We'll just make sure this one's all nice and tight. That one also has a small little plastic cover. Do not lose these. I lost one time. I had to order it online, and I'm gonna lose this one again. So just pop that in there. And kind of a pain in the ass to do everything with the phone. Oh, there we go. So there we go there. And I'm just going to attach the rest of these bolts. But you get a good idea of what's involved with reattaching the door.